Good morning and welcome. Patriot Radio News Hour. I'm Joe Jaquin, CEO of the Patriot Trading Group. And our toll-free number, 800-951-0592. The website at allamericangold.com. And I'll tell you, I don't know, maybe I may have gotten a little excited yesterday. May have gotten a little upset. I'm gonna tone it down today, mostly just because I'm tired. You know, when you go on the road, you travel. You know, you're in the hotel. You never sleep as good, but a little sluggish this morning. I'll tell you, it didn't happen. It almost happened today. It possibly could happen tomorrow. But I may do a Kim Kardashian and break the internet. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Well, there was a threat of live streaming my show today because, you know, we have that ability up here in Colorado. It's so weird. It's so different broadcasting from the studios here in Colorado because in Arizona, I have a studio in my office. So I'm just in there by myself. You know, now I'm in there. I'm staring at Jack. Jack produces the show. You know, he's here every day. He was, you know, really smarting off to me, so I had to yell at him and you know, give him the one-finger salute, if you know what I'm saying. And it's just weird because he's looking at me, and I'm like, dude, quit looking at me, you know. But it's a lot of fun. We're having a great time. Met so many great people, you know. And you think, you know, I've been a part of Patriot for 18 years. You know, I've owned the company now for, well, I was partial owner since 05, but I've owned the whole thing for 7 or 8 years. I own the radio station, you know, that we're broadcasting out of here today. And so I've been up here plenty of times, and it never fails. I meet more new people. Yesterday, I met a customer for the first time, and he was telling me how, Joe, I first bought from Patriot in 1996. I mean, you think about it, now it's 2021, and I'm meeting the guy for the first time. It's great. Appreciate that. I'm trying to stay pretty anchored down in the office. I have meetings and things of that nature, but I will make myself available if you want to come on by. Everybody, you know, picking up product and the CBD and all of those other things. Thank you guys so very much. We signed a bunch of contracts yesterday. I believe, listen, if you guys are thinking about doing a show, it is so great. Especially, you know, whether you just have something you want to get off of your chest or if you're a business owner, it's a fantastic way to get the word out. We only got 3 weekend hours left. We sold 2 more of them yesterday. Things are really starting to move in the right direction, and it's fantastic because we continue to grow day after day after day. It's amazing. So I was here in October to see the changes that have happened since I've been here the last time. Right, you know, the I-25, they're getting ready. You know, the growth is coming to the Johnstown, Loveland, you know, area and you know, and beyond, because they're getting ready to expand the I-25 up here. But right off the 60, you know, the I-25 and the 60, D.R. Horton is building another one of these big housing communities. They're all the models are almost up. They're getting ready to open, and that's everywhere. You know, the one thing about I would say about Colorado and Arizona that are very similar: growth. And as I'm talking to our listeners and our customers, right, we all blame it on the same state, right? California. Listen, you Californians, okay? If you're listening to this show, it's probably a welcome relief from what you're used to, but leave your failed policies behind, right? You know, and of course, I almost feel like they've already won. You know, Colorado's blue and Arizona's just gone blue. But, you know, just like what we're watching here with inflation, you'll see. taxes skyrocketing. I was talking to all of our great customers, and some of them were talking about how their property taxes are through the roof. All of these things, and when we talk about inflation a lot and all that. These are the hidden things like property tax and all the rest of these. It's going to be very, very interesting how all of these things play out. But I just got to thank everybody for all of their support. We haven't had this kind of momentum at the radio station in a long time. Matter of fact, my crack staff, they're out there somewhere. Yeah, we actually got guys on the street out there getting the word out, and it's filling up fast. So if you want to get something done, reach out to us, and we will take care of you. And, of course, I've gotten our CBD products. It's been incredible. And the reason why it's incredible is because it works. Go to the shopping cart, go to 1360khnc.com and get your CBD today. I take it every day. Listen, I'm a big guy. I'm overweight. Let's call a spade, okay? I'm overweight, and I need to lose some pounds. But ever since I started taking the CBD tincture from my kind, right, I don't have to take 12 Advil in a round of golf. Because that's what it was. I take 4 before I golf, 4 after I golf, 4 the next day. And sometimes I take 8 the next day, right? Because I was just like, oh, it's just fantastic. I apologize for the 4 states we can't do business with. I get emails, Iowa and Ohio, New York. You guys, I'm sorry, we're working on it. It's not our fault. You guys got to talk to your legislatures. Patriot Radio News Hour. We'll be right back. You ever get the feeling that everybody's lost their mind? I mean, every day I'm like, everyone's lost their mind. The central bank, they've lost their mind. Right? They are disregarding every single rule they've ever created for themselves. I said the other day, the wolf guarded the hen house, right? It's crazy now. Politicians, they've all lost their minds. And then you start thinking about defund the police, right? The Black Lives Matter. Of course they matter. All lives matter. And then you start thinking about women or men playing women's sports and women playing. I mean, everybody's lost their stinking mind. And then today, I mean, you can't make this crap up. Penn State. For those of you that don't know Penn State, big college in Pennsylvania, Happy Valley. Remember, I guess, used to be famous for its legendary football coach and its football program, and then Jerry Sandusky came along and ruined all that. But they have decided that they're going to change the terms freshman, sophomore, junior, and senior. Okay. And replace that with first year, second year, third year, and fourth year. And the terms underclassmen and upperclassmen, those are gone as well. And they will be replaced with lower division and upper division. Because according to Penn State, terms like freshman and upperclassmen apparently carry a male-centric and binary connotation. Now, that's a lot of big words. And, obviously, we understand what's happening here, right? Yes, the way God made you is no longer good enough for society. Making them, this one I forgot. I got to keep reading. Apparently, yes, the word freshman, upperclassmen, and I'm going to assume sophomore, junior, senior. I don't know what they did to people. But they are also sexist and classless. Yes. It adds that terms like junior and senior okay? Because I was like, wow, what did they do? You know, I guess freshmen had the word men in it, right? Upper class men. But apparently Penn State said, well, you know, junior and senior, it's too similar to the male father-son naming conventions. Yep, convection, sorry. See, you can't have that. Now, I did not put that together, but, you know, okay. The university had supposedly grown out of a typical male-centered world. Yes. So all of these terms are all gone. And they decided that grad students who, I never knew this. They were called super seniors. Never heard of that before. Maybe that's for, you know, when I think of a super senior, right? I'm thinking about like my mom. You know, my mom's getting up in that age where she might be a super senior. You know, but no, that's gone too. And you will now be referred to as an advanced standing student. Yeah. Instead of a grad student is what I always refer to them, but, you know, whatever. Also, in all literature produced by the school, the following pronouns will no longer be used. He, him, his, she, hers, and instead now we will refer to them as they, them, theirs, and, well, there you go, right? Jack just made this, he put the gun to his, you know, the fingers to his head, blew out his brains right there. That's how I feel, right? That's how I feel. Where does it end? I mean, I don't know. I don't know how. What does that do? What does that accomplish? And it's almost now where nobody, I shouldn't say no, obviously somebody felt this way. But the vast majority of people out there, I don't think it ever enters into their mind. Because we don't think that way. You know, it's almost like, you know, I'll use the sports logos, you know, like the Washington Redskins. Now it's the Washington football team, the Cleveland Indians mascot. I always viewed, this was just me, but I always viewed that when you named it was reverence to the mascot, right? That was it was something to be admired. And you think about the fan base of any of these, even the schools. I know, like in Colorado, they just passed a law. Anything, all of those names, Braves, Warriors, all that's got to go away. And I'm just like, but no one really thought that way, did they? It's this classic example of overthinking everything, right? Right? I mean, I don't know. I don't know how that helps anything or solves anything. But I'm sure it's going to make the cost of tuition go up because I guess all the materials now got to be redone, right? I don't know. But everyone's losing their mind. You know, you're sitting here, we're looking at even like cryptocurrencies. Because, well, first of all, they're really not a currency. But you know, again, we're splitting hairs. Think about what that really means. And people, you know, oh, it's speculation, it's a bubble, it's this, it's that. You know, I have my own opinions on it. But you know what you don't hear them say? Which is probably the most important thing, is why did it get created in the first place? What was the purpose? And really, it was to allow for people around the world to not be dependent upon the central bank and the governments of their country. In other words, hey, the price will truly be set by, supply, demand, and whatnot, not controlled. You don't have to worry about waking up one day and the central bank, raising rates or lowering rates or announcing some quantitative easing program or some bailout or whatever it may be. And whether or not you believe that they're going to survive, right? And as I said, I don't think they will. And if they do, it'll be something far different than what it was intended to be. And of course, ultimately, here's the bad part about the guys that created this stuff, this electronic ledger, because that's really what it is. It's really not a currency. We can pretend that it is. Elon Musk pretended Bitcoin was and accepted Bitcoin as payments for, about a week. Right? And then was like, never mind. It's a tracking system. And this is kind of why I think they've allowed it to occur. And again, I think people have lost their minds. Do you not understand what it is? Truthfully, what it is. Listen, I would love for it to be a currency. That'd be great. Right? Finally freed from the absolute oppression that the central banks have put on the world for centuries. Jason, when Jason gets into one of his let me show you how the central bank has been involved in every major conflict in the world. And he goes back for hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of years. And he starts connecting the dots and creeps out everybody, including me. Right? But you start to understand the evilness and really the absolute power that they want to have. And when we think about things, and I don't care, pick a coin. Right? We'll say Bitcoin because it's the easiest, it's the most well-known, but we know there's tons of them. Understand, why would they allow it? Right? Because we know. With a stroke of a pen, they kill everything. Right? Why do you think they outlawed gold as a currency? Because they knew, man, if we give people a choice, they're going to pick gold. You know how many times when I tell people that, especially those of you that are new to metals, maybe all of a sudden something's happened and you're freaked out, right? The Republicans have taken charge. You see all the inflation, all the spending, and all of this stuff. And you had some friends, and they told you about this crazy guy on the radio, and you just started listening. When they confiscated gold from the citizenry in 1933, they debased the currency by 75% 90 days later. Now, they don't say that. You don't read that in your history book. And of course, in your history book, they'll tell you the central bankers were trying to save us from the Great Depression. And that gold caused it. Gold didn't cause it. The central bankers caused it. But they wanted to get rid of gold. But here's the part that they didn't know. Did you know it was illegal to own gold in the United States from 1933 to the early 70s? Most people don't know that. And you know why they did it? They did it because they're gold. We can't afford for them to do that. And of course, now today they've got everybody trained like monkeys. I forget which company it was, and I'm too lazy to go back and look it up. Do you know one of these brokerage companies? They want to set up trading accounts for kids. Yes, well, for the mom and dad have to give permission, but yes, they want kids to start trading stocks. Absolutely ridiculous. But again, this is part of the brainwashing that they've put on us. And you start thinking about this digital currency because we all know, I think everybody out there listening knows that, and we don't know when, but soon. I say 5 years. I don't think we get to 2030, because it may be a little longer, but I don't think anywhere close beyond 2030. I don't think within that time. So say 5 to 10 years, the dollar's done. It goes away. And we're going to end up with some central bank digital currency. So why are they allowing for these other ones to be out there today? We're going to talk about that reason when we return. 800-951-0592. Gold's unchanged at $18.67. Silver, same thing. Silver's doing a whole lot of nothing today, $28.15. You got to rest a little bit as they continue surging the dollar back below 90, 89 and change again. I told you the dollar can't go anywhere. Well, the only way it goes is down as they continue to print all this money. And we're talking about what comes next. And I'm posing the question today about digital currencies, for lack of a better term. And we'll call them Bitcoin, but that includes all of them. First, I know some of you out there, Joe's just going to trash it because, the Bitcoin and gold compete. They don't. Truly, they don't. I know that's what the people that like Bitcoin like to draw that assumption, but truly, they're two different animals altogether. And just for the record, I love Bitcoin. I love the thought behind it, which is, hey, yes, no private group of individuals should be in charge of deciding who wins and who loses. And Stan Druckenmiller pointed it out so eloquently the other day. They are the creators of wealth inequality in the world today. And, of course, now everybody's coming out saying, oh, man, what are they doing? They've lost their minds. They're setting us up for trouble. But when you look at these electronic currencies, for lack of a better term, why would they allow it? Right? I mean, you can't go to the supermarket with your gold coins. Can't go to the supermarket with your Bitcoin either, but, why would they allow it? And I think the answer is pretty simple. They need the technology. And the technology, what is it? What is the technology that is so innovative? And what is the technology that, let's face it, listen, all these electronic currencies, they're incredible users of electricity. Because what it really is think about, back in the old days, you had a general ledger. Right, like always the mafia, right? How would they always get the mafia guys on racketeering charges, right? Because someone was keeping track, right? The bookkeeper for the mob, that guy, he was keeping track. And, as a small business owner, as an individual, right? May 15th, used to be April 15th, but, tax day came the other day. Right? And taxes, and by and large, you got to keep track of what you earned and what you spent. And when you use cash, okay, so let's just hypothetically say that yesterday you bought the special on the 20s yesterday, and you came in and you met with Jason and you handed him cash. Right? There's no ledger. Didn't get written down. They hate that. Right? That's why they love credit cards, personal checks, bank wires. They've got it written down, right? They can keep track. The problem always was and is the technology wasn't good enough to keep track of every single transaction all at once. Anybody that owns a business that takes credit cards, we all know, you don't get paid instantly. It gets done in the middle of the night. Right? Online. You have an online shopping cart. Everybody out there that has an online shopping cart knows, hey, we don't get paid for 2 days. But what changed with these currencies, or I'll call them electronic credits, was the ability to track it instantly. And I'm not talking about thousands of transactions. We're talking about tens of millions of transactions all at once. And think about it this way. You've got a number, let's just say your Social Security number. Right? Everyone gets one, right? You got your number. And with a digital currency, the government could have a ledger of your entire life. Right? Everything you've ever bought or sold or what have you is recorded. And this is the part I hate about the digital currency. So I'm torn, right? Because I love the fact that we would take power away from central bankers and governments and get out of that oppression. That part excites me. But that's the part that's going to go away. That's the problem. That's what's going to go away. What's coming and what everybody needs to really understand. Because believe me, we know, we've got bubbles. We know there's bubbles. Right? We know there's a housing bubble. We know there's a stock bubble. We know there's a bond bubble. We know, look at lumber. Right? Copper, iron ore. Right? We got a commodities bubble now blowing up and inflation's running rampant. And we know a crash is coming. We don't know when. Right? Is it the end of this year? I think Jason has been campaigning for 2022. I'm smart enough to say I don't know, soon. And it's going to be terrible. It is. And we know it is. And it's going to be so expensive. We're already struggling to pay all this debt, and I think they're just going to wrap it up in a pretty little bow, and they're going to tell us this digital currency is the answer. And we've watched currencies being reissued in the world over and over and over again. Like ours, the last time we did it was 1933. We devalued and debased the currency by 75%. And you hear all these guys out there, all the smartest guys in the world saying, hey, listen, we're debasing again. But what does that mean for the future? We'll try to hypothesize about that when we return. Patriot Radio News Hour. Don't touch that dial. 800-951-0592, Patriot Radio News Hour. We're talking about electronic currencies. And, this is the path we're on. And why am I telling you, hey, you got to go heavier right now in gold and silver? Because this is the path. Because with every confiscation, And, of course, this one, we're talking about the confiscation of what? The Federal Reserve note. Right? They're going to, you got to turn your money in. Everything's going to be an electronic credit. The greatest tracking system the world has ever seen. Really, Google's pretty good. Like your phone, what a great tracking device that is, right? But this is above and beyond. But just know there's going to be a major devaluation attached to it. I don't know. You know what? I don't even want to speculate to what that would be. I'll leave that to other people. It hurts my head to think about it. But we do seem to be on this path where we want to punish success a lot more than we used to. And I think this is my other big problem with this new Federal Reserve central bank digital currencies that we're all going to be facing. I think it'll be lenient upon those with lesser means and very painful for those that have more means. And again, the other side of it too, the cash turning in, that's not going to be pleasant either. Because you got to have to understand at this point in time, there's going to be a major crisis happening. Right? The banks will be insolvent again. Right? The country, though, now we're to be done. The country will be having issues. Look, we're already, at best, if you would degrade the, first year, second year, third year, fourth year, because you can't be freshmen, sophomores, juniors, or seniors anymore. But if you were, to use a school analogy, if you will, the auctions that we're having now, we're between a D plus and a C minus. That's not a real good student, is it? Right? That's a clear sign that, hey, you know what? Now listen, that doesn't mean every kid that has D pluses and C minuses are not going to be able to turn it around, but we know it's a good indication. Well, gosh, you used to be a straight A student. What happened? Right? He got in with the wrong crowd. He's with all those burners and stoners, and I don't even know what they call them anymore. Hanging out with the wrong kids. It's Jack's fault. Keeps hanging out with that kid. Right? You know what I'm talking about. That's us right now. And so, be prepared. Gold will do very well. We're talking today about a dollar that's back into the 80s again. And just know this. There's not enough of a show to explain it all. I'll do a dollar show another day. The dollar is not doing what it's supposed to do. When the U.S. starts having inflation and rates start rising, the dollar's supposed to rise with it. It hasn't. Matter of fact, if the dollar breaks below here, the dollar's right on this. We talk about how gold and silver just busted through support. That's a real good indication prices are headed even higher. The dollar now is bumping up against the support that if it breaks through is going to go even lower. So if it breaks down lower here, then we'll be going back towards lows in the dollars that we haven't seen, since like the financial crisis. Which again just feeds the gold, feeds the silver price. And as we get closer and closer to this digital currency. Expect gold and silver to perform very well. Remember, the last time we did it, gold was $20. When they got done with it, it was $35. All in one day, right? One day, bam. Wake up, it's up. It's worth 75% more in a day. So that's why I'm telling you to be a little heavier. And then when it's over on the other side, then you can lighten up a little bit and take advantage of things that will be inexpensive after we settle onto the other side. Listen, we're not going to come to an end. Right? Every country in the world that has fiat money, this is just what happens. You know, every 100 years or so, they got to hit the reset button. But the problem is all of the debt that goes along with it means that somebody has to pay a really significant price. That's going to be people that got lots of money in the bank, lots of money available to them. Has to be. They're going to pay that significant price. Patriot Radio News Hour. That's why I say, lighten up on those bank accounts. Put some in gold, put it in silver, and then wait for it to happen on the other side. Final segment coming up. 800-951-0592, Patriot Radio News Hour. Today's special U.S. $10 Liberties. These are the half-ounce $10 Liberties, so the older 1866 to 1907. They're at $1,075. If you buy 20 or more, $1,065 at 800-951-0592. Put them away. Add to your profile. You know what's happening. We all know what's happening. None of this is on accident. This is the direction we're headed. And then, of course, obviously, after we're done, we're going to have the ultimate tracking system, which I just hate. Of course, what are the great benefits to this new digital dollar? You know, yesterday I was telling you about that extra $300 for every kid, right? Like, we need more money to be handed out that we don't have. It's not happening until July 15th because it takes them that long to get ready. With a digital currency, the central bank, we can make that happen tomorrow. See, isn't that great? By the way, you also may want to have some gold and silver because now anything they don't want, guns, ammo, those things come to mind right away. Who knows, maybe even gasoline. Yeah, we're just not going to allow you to buy those anymore. So they're going to create a black market, and you're going to need stuff to trade with to get your hands on some of that stuff. So having some gold and silver available just in case may be a good idea. 800-951-0592, $10 Liberties, $1,075. If you buy 20 or more, $1,065. And by the way, those of you that want to believe in the fantasy of the FDIC. Somebody much smarter than me actually did the math. Took all the insured deposits, just the insured deposits, against how much money the FDIC has, at least what they claim to have, and found out about 1.5 cents of all insured deposits is actually, that's all the money the FDIC has. So even that's worse than even what I thought. So just be prepared, be ready, and I guess at the end of the day, this is the hand we were dealt. Again, America's not coming to an end. The question is, do you want to be one of the 88% of the children that parents don't have enough money for them, or do you want to be the 12%? Right? That's, really, isn't it funny that's the number that came up with? We know that it's 10% versus the other 90%. I want to be one of the 10%. Heck, I want to be one of the 1%, but I don't have that kind of money. At least not yet. Maybe when it's over, I will. Put that gold away. 800-951-0592. Who knows? Tomorrow, I could be streaming all over the internet. That'll break it for sure. I've always said I've got a body and a face for radio. But, who knows? We'll see what happens. God bless everybody. Take care. Look forward to seeing more of you today. And I'll be back tomorrow.